Woof woof! Hey guys, it's me Marcus, aka the Mad Dog. It's the beginning of the month, and you know that can mean only one thing. Yes, it is time for your monthly installment of Whale Watch. Whale Watch. Yep, once a month we take a recording of my screen and we just have a look at some of the books that look like they might be going out of print. Maybe they have gone out of print and you might not have been aware of, or maybe there's a stealth deal that you might still be able to find. I have to say this at the beginning of every video because there's always at least one person who misunderstands and then feels the need to harass me on Instagram, but I am not any kind of professional. I've got no kind of insider knowledge. I am just one fan of this hobby that's trying to help out others. The first one that I want to talk to you guys about is these Criminal Deluxe editions that I've had a few people ask me about. I know a lot of you have been eagerly awaiting these reprints. Of course, those covers are beautiful. The reason why I'm bringing it up in this video is because of the recent news that came out as part of Ed Brubaker's newsletter. But he talks about the reprints here, and he says that he got a lot of emails the past few weeks about asking about the new printings of the first two Criminal Deluxe editions. Same. He says that they are both still coming out in April, so you can see it there that it's been confirmed. He said, we did a really big print run on these, but since I get asked this question a lot, when these hardbacks sell out, they will probably not go to press for a long time. He does give a brief explanation like printing costs and stuff like that, but for me, if you are wanting either of these reprints or all three volumes altogether, I'd recommend picking them up as soon as you can get them. This is like a really preemptive Whale Watch because these haven't even come out yet. We've still got at least another month until they do, but I'm still forewarning you now that if you want them, don't sleep on them. Don't think that you can get them months down the line. Like, yeah, it could have a big print run, but only when you compare it to the original printing. Since then, the game's completely changed, and you've got fans who've got the original editions that want these new editions as well just so the covers match. And yes, I'm one of those people as well, don't judge me. The next one that I want to talk about is East of West Year 3, and you're probably wondering why I've mentioned these books far too much already. And you're probably also wondering why when I type Forbidden Planet in, it automatically takes me to Power Rangers. Don't ask. I've had a few people asking me if the reprinting of Year 3 is being cancelled. I've got this volume 3 pre-ordered and it doesn't look like it's being cancelled at all. And also, if you're that worried about it and you don't want to wait for a cheaper price, I know that this is still available at Amazon directly. Yeah, you can get it here for £30 odd. Actually, who's selling it for 29? Oh, acceptable. I'm not having that. Acceptable condition to me is unacceptable condition, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, if you were that worried about it and you think it's already going to go the way of volume 2, then you might as well just get it from Amazon. But for me, it does look as if those reprints are coming out. It seems like Forbidden Planet still says that they're going to get it later on this month, so by the time of my next haul, you should be able to figure out if this has been cancelled or not. One that I would divert your attention to, going back to the talk of Power Rangers, is the Shattered Grid Deluxe Edition. Now, these Power Rangers volumes, we've talked about a few of them over the time. I can't even see the first one anywhere. Currently unavailable. Shock horror, it's almost as if I mentioned it in an earlier episode, isn't it? But the one that I really want to pick up on is this Shattered Grid Deluxe Edition, because if you look here, there's only 11 left in stock at Amazon, and you may be thinking that 11's quite a lot, but admittedly, you've got to compensate for damages when you look at Amazon stock. Some people might want to get replacement copies, and those replacements are going to come from this 11. But the reason why I bring this up is because there's only one other place on Amazon that is going to sell this, and it's a used copy, so you haven't got stuff like your Books etc, your Speedy Hen, your Weirdery, so it looks like that's another one that is on that warning level. Now, with these Power Rangers Deluxe editions, you never know. They might come back in stock like Volume 1 did, Volume 2 did, and we thought that they were out of print for good. They are going to do later volumes. I know that we've got Necessary Evil coming out in November, I believe they said on the Kickstarter, so it might be the case that they bring all of them back in stock again. I think that is very likely, if I'm being honest with you, but at the same time, I'm a massive Power Rangers fan, so I'm just going to recommend that you pick these up. Now, I said this before in previous episodes, but I am trying my best to make sure that I can keep the variety going in these so that I'm not just repeating the same books month after month. Some of them occasionally will come up, like Revival right here, because it looks as if Volume 1 is steadily going out of stock again, and with it being a weird, more obscure title, I don't really know if Image is going to keep this in print. However, if you go down to the third party section, you can see here that the only place that's sort of reputable that we know of that we've used is Book Depository. I've never used this UK paperback shop, but like I said, they try and sell me a hardcover, and they've got paperback in the title. What the fuck's going on there, man? But if you look here on Read Comics, it does look as if they're saying that some of them are coming back in stock on the 12th of this month, but Volume 2 and Volume 1 in particular are just straight out of stock. They don't even have that purple button of doom. Revival, if it was something that you were picking up slowly, maybe get a bit of a move on, because I'm not really too sure if they're going to reprint that out around the time when Halloween comes. But another one that we're going to look at from Image Comics is the Manhattan Projects Deluxe Editions. This one in particular, book 1. Now, if you look here, 30% off's pretty decent for an Image title. It's been in stock since about 2014. Jonathan Hickman, big name, but admittedly not as big as East of West or anything like that. But the reason why I'm bringing this one up is because when you look at your third-party sellers, you haven't got any that is selling it from a company that we really know. And let me just sit and talk to you for a minute, even though I'm sitting and talking to you throughout this entire video. But for me, if they were going to allow East of West to go out of print for the God knows how long it was before that Year 3 came out, why would they keep Manhattan Projects in stock? I don't know, that just seems like it doesn't really make sense to me, because Manhattan Projects doesn't seem to be as popular of a title when it comes to Jonathan Hickman. So if it was that you wanted these, admittedly I kind of did at one point, I was intrigued by it, curious. So that's one that you definitely need to keep your eye on at least. And another one that I think you should keep your eye on, and if you're new to Whale Watch, the rule of thumb tends to be that if I say something looks like it's going out of print, there just seems to be this mysterious restock that comes out of nowhere, so it's normally good news either way. Either you get the book that you wanted or it gets a restock, but either way it seems like I'm a little bit cursed when it comes to this show, and hopefully people who've watched it before can back me up on that. But the Irredeemable Omnibus, it had that moment where it just looked like it'd gone out of print again, but look, there is no third party that's selling it, and also there's only 3 left in stock. You see, so the cheapest place that's actually got it in stock is Amazon, and it looks like the cheapest on eBay is £51. So that seems to be one that is already going out of stock. And from what we've seen with Power Rangers, Boom Studios, not really that great at keeping popular titles in print, so if you want this, I'd recommend jumping on it. One that I'm just going to put on your radar, I don't really know too much about this, but obviously to make this show more accessible for more people, I'm trying to expand into books that aren't just ones that I like, but just that more people might be interested in. I know I had some suggestions for maybe doing some European books like Humanoids and stuff like that. I'm working on it. Like, this isn't as easy as it looks. Like, I know I make this look easy, I think, but honestly there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that goes into it. I'm always researching throughout the month, so I'm trying my best to slowly increase it without just putting too much of a workload onto it to the point where I end up fucking hating this. But Witchfinder, this is part of the Magnolaverse. Now, we always know that those Magnolaverse hardcovers like your BPRDs, your Abe Sapiens, your Lobster Johnsons, they have all gone out of print, and they're quite difficult to get, and then they do soft covers, and that's all that you're getting, unfortunately. But this Witchfinder, it seems to be the book between that and Baltimore that people forgot existed. But if you look at the third-party sellers, Book Depository's got it, but it seems like they're going to take quite a bit of time getting it to you, which to me normally says that they are waiting for more stock. Yeah, so that Witchfinder is one that should definitely be on your radar if it was that you were looking to collect all these Magnolaverse books. Now, the only other sort of independent, not Marvel, not DC book that we're going to look at is one that I believe I mentioned in the very first episode of Whale Watch, where I was very underprepared, but still pretty much as underprepared as I am today. Not sure why I've got my headphones on, just going to take these off, but the Gail Simone Red Sonja complete oversized book. It's not technically an omnibus, it's not called a deluxe edition, but it's pretty much both. But yeah, if you look here, there was a good couple of months, about 3 or 4 months, where you couldn't get this book at all, but it's now back in stock. Again, it looks like Book Depository is the only one that's really got it, whereas Amazon itself has got it in stock. So if this was one that you were disappointed that you missed out on it, pick it up now, just buy it. It looks like it's there. We're moving into our DC books now, and one that I have to bring up is the Batman by Scott Snyder Omnibus, because I've been tracking this throughout the month, and it's so weird at the minute. It looks like it's got all of those telltale signs that it's going out of print. So yeah, typically dispatched within 6 to 10 days. It's not even dispatched from Amazon directly. You've only got 5 people who are selling a third-party copy. Seems like Amazon's there for £81, but there isn't really a great deal on this. It is weird though, because I feel like we should have got a volume 2 announced for this already. Now, it does look as if somebody's got one on eBay for £59. This is always a bit sketch when it's saying like it's going to be delivered to you about 3 weeks from now. So either this company isn't in the UK or they don't actually have it in stock. But this is a book that I'm on the fence about. Do I want to buy this? Do I not want to buy this? Because of the fact that there isn't that volume 2. We haven't got a complete unbroken run of this series yet. I don't want to sell all my trade paperbacks and then it'd be the case that they don't do a volume 2. But for me, in the same way that Injustice looked like it was going out of print a few months ago, and then it all of a sudden came back in stock everywhere once volume 2 came out, I have to believe it'd be the same situation with this book. So I get people asking me every now and then about this one. I'd wait and see if we get a volume 2. If you can get it for a really good price, like if this was somebody that looked like they had it in stock, I probably would have brought it for that price. Yeah, Books Etc might be a tenner cheaper, but they also don't have it in stock, so I don't really know what you're hoping for there. For me, like I said, let's hang tight for a little bit. Let's see if we get that volume 2, because it seems like there's a lot of talk about it at the minute. Everybody's mentioning it, so I feel like that has to be us channeling into the earth that that's what we want. So let's just hang fire and see if we get that volume 2. Now, another Batman omnibus that we need to mention, and I famously mentioned this in a previous episode of Whale Watch, and then it came back in stock everywhere, so who knows, the same thing might happen again. But it's this one right here, Batman 66. As you can see here, Amazon doesn't currently have it in stock, and also there isn't really too many places that are selling it. Book Depository says that they're going to get it in about 11 days, which to me says that they don't actually have it right now. So again, that might be another one that should be on your radar if it was that you wanted it, because of the fact that, you know, it might not be second time lucky that I've said it again, so it might not end up being back in stock again. Yeah, it doesn't seem as if Forbidden Planet's got it. Reed Comics does have it for 75 quid, so if you did still want it for undercover somewhere that's got it readily available. They've also got 2 volumes of Nightfall. I know that they look like they're going out of stock as well. And they've also got Road to No Man's Land, which I know is difficult for a few people, but this was one that I did also want to bring up because I believe it has come back in stock in a few places. The one that really pissed me off is that it looks like Speedy Hen's got it in stock again, so everybody that had their order cancelled, it looks like they've got it back in stock now. If it was that you wanted it and there was that moment where it looked like it'd already gone out of print, just jump on it now. Hopefully we do get those No Man's Land volumes coming out as well. Hopefully the audio's okay. It's the first time testing out this new mic, so if there's any issues, I apologise for it and I'll do what I can when I'm editing. But for this month, just let it slide, please. Another one that I feel like I need to mention is the Harley Quinn Omnibuses Volumes 2 and Volumes 3. Now, as you can see here, it looks like Volume 3 isn't available for many places. I think I've heard good things about these and good things about these, even if the price is a little bit steep. But I remember that this was £30 for the longest amount of time from a seller on eBay. That's who I ended up buying it from. Now, the cheapest on eBay now is £68. From Reed Comics as well, so at least it's somewhere that we know is reputable. But yeah, Volume 2 as well also looked like it was having a few issues. They've only got Volume 3 weirdly, and it looks like that is the cheapest price, and especially with Forbidden Planet, if you couple an order with a few pre-orders and stuff like that, you still only pay the one postage charge of £5.50, so that it works out that your postage is only like 80p a boot, which is really great, and you can't really complain because they do package them quite well. So let's start off with one that everybody needs on the shelf. I don't give a fuck what you like, this is a book that you really need, because it's DC The New Frontier Absolute Edition. Now, as you can see, only 2 left in stock at Amazon, 31% off. Okay, yeah, maybe it isn't as great as that like Books etc discount, but have a look here. So there isn't too many places that are actually selling this for cheap. Greenwich Books is okay. I think I got a Thor book from them about a year ago. But as you can see, everybody else is selling it used. Now, it's been in print since 2019. And also, I remember that the original printing of this went out of print and it was really difficult to get. I wonder if that's more expensive. Why is that more expensive than the newer edition that's got more material in it? That just makes fuck all sense to me. Another Absolute Edition that will hopefully be good news to some of you is the Absolute Swamp Thing Volume 2. Now, it does look as if it's cropped back up in a few places, but I remember a couple of weeks ago, this was, yeah, look, it was in the hundreds of pounds, so you can get it from a few places, and it is slowly trickling in here and there, so it might be the case that you need to keep your eyes peeled for this one. But what I will say is that it looks like there's going to be an Absolute Swamp Thing Volume 3. Oh, okay, cool, you can already pre-order it. So that Volume 3 is coming out. When Volume 2 originally came out, that's when we got this Volume 1 reprint. For me, it might be the case that they do the same for Volume 2. DC, as much shit as we give them, they have to at least be sort of aware of the fact that a lot of people have missed out on Volume 2, so they're not likely to buy Volume 3. But don't pay over cover price for it, because it does look as if there is some places that have it now. Now, segueing into Alan Moore, you might be a fan of V for Vendetta, or you might be trying to read it for the first time. The Absolute Edition of this smells beautiful. Don't know why I mentioned that, but it's still a factor to consider. Now, the Absolute Edition only has 10 left in stock from Amazon. This got printed in 2009. I remember buying this with my paper round Christmas tip money. Now, if you're looking at new, there aren't any. The only place it's selling it new is Amazon, and it's at full price, which is always a bit of a worrying sign. One of the main things that I look at is, has the price jumped up, and is it at cover price, and is Amazon the only place that's actually selling it? But yeah, it's just completely out of stock here at Reed Comics. No other place seems to really have it at this point. And I know what you might be thinking, who cares if the Absolute Edition goes out of print? There's still the Deluxe Edition. Well, no. The only reason the Absolute Edition's on this is because of the fact that I noticed that there was the Deluxe Edition. Now, as you can see, it's not properly in stock. And yeah, you've got your Book Depository, but other than that, you haven't really got any of the places that we really know and that we really trust. So I recently saw this on Joachim's video, and it looks like a beautiful edition. I'm still happy with my Absolute, but it might be the case that you think that you can get this, but everywhere seems to say that it's coming back in stock on the 12th of March. I'm not sure where everyone's getting that date from. V for Vendetta is one of those books though that it's probably always going to be available in some format or another, but if it was that you wanted one of those certain editions, I'd recommend picking them up sooner rather than later. Let's just keep going with the Absolute. absolute editions for a little bit of time now, because the next one that I want to mention is the absolute fourth world. Now, I've had one person message me on this. I'm not going to say it's any more than one because it's really not. One sec, that's a really good price on Scott Pilgrim. £18.99, holy shit, full 6 books. That is a really good price for Scott Pilgrim. And then check out my review. That review really needs some love. But yeah, as you can see here, the absolute fourth world, it came out in June last year. There's only 6 left in stock at Amazon, and it's obviously full price. Comparing this to any of the international Amazons, it does look as if some of them say that they've got it in stock. But again, as you can see here, it says 6. And with the European Amazons, I've noticed that they all tend to have the same stock level. They'll all say 6. And it's because it's easy to ship across to the other ones than it would be to get it over from America. So that 6 isn't 6 for Amazon UK and then 6 for Amazon Germany and 6 for Amazon Spain. It's 6. So if this is one that you wanted, it might actually come from one of those European countries, but I'd recommend jumping on it because you might be thinking that, oh, that isn't that long, it's only about 8 to 9 months. Well, at the same time, we had books like the Infinite Crisis reprint that came out, we had stuff like Hellblazer, we also had Superman Batman, which I think got mentioned last month. But all we can do is guess. I'm trying to give you as much information as I can, just to hopefully save some people the disappointment if a book that they wanted ends up going out of print. That's always been the purpose of this show. Hopefully you guys recognize that. Like I said, I know some people hate it, but they can go suck a tip. The next one that we're going to talk about is one that I might be reading very soon. It's Absolute Day Tripper. Now, this is a very beautiful book. Again, came out pretty much the same time as Absolute Fourth World. Now, you might be thinking, why is this on here? Well, I had a look into the third-party sellers. Yes, you've got Worderies. Yes, you've got Blackwells. But then after that, it doesn't seem that there's actually too many places that have this available on hand. I've got this, it's beautiful, I can't really lie to you or anything like that, so I'd definitely recommend picking it up if it is that you did want it, because I think the deluxe edition of Day Tripper is long out of print. Yeah, it's more expensive for the deluxe edition than it is for the Absolute. That's crazy to me, and that's a sign that if you wanted that, definitely pick it up. One more Absolute edition to go through, and I mentioned this recently because I saw it in a few of the hauls that got submitted as part of the Mad Dog Comic Haul competition, which is Absolute Scarlet. For the longest amount of time, this was quite cheap, and it's been in print longer than those other Absolutes that we've mentioned. It's at full price. There's one left in stock. They say more's on the way, but can I trust you anymore, Amazon, at this point? And have a look right here. We haven't got any of those places that we usually rely on, except for Book Depository. That looks like another Absolute that's on its way out, and admittedly, because of the fact they don't really hear too much buzz about this, who knows if it will actually ever get a reprint again. Another one that I only really noticed because of the fact that there is going to be a trade paperback of this is the Sheriff of Babylon by Tom King, the deluxe edition. Again, DC are weird, but the general rule is that they don't tend to like keeping a deluxe edition and a trade paperback of more obscure titles. Even big name titles like JLA by Grant Morrison, when those trade paperbacks came out, they phased out those deluxe editions, and I think it's going to be the same with this. 14 left in stock, only a 20% discount. There isn't too many there that we know about. There isn't your Wordery, your Book Depository. I've said those names about 80 times already in this video, so I'm not going to bore you with them again. Not too many places that are selling it either. Again, it looks like Amazon's the cheapest, so if that was one that you wanted in the deluxe format, definitely recommend picking that up this month. Another deluxe edition that you might have seen from my recent haul is the Gotham by Gaslight deluxe edition. This has been weird since it was released, so it only came out in October of last year, but already there's only 2 places that are selling it. This one's selling it used, and that's Amazon's warehouse, so it doesn't look like anywhere's really got this. We don't really know if this is going to get like a stealth restock or anything like that. DC is genuinely a fucking mystery. I've been doing this for 10 months and I still can't work out the pattern with those guys. This is where I got it from, Amazon Spain, so I'd recommend picking it up from there. That's a really good deal, and this is quite a nice deluxe edition, so that's another one that I think should be on your radar this month. My camera ran out of charge, so I'm just going to pick back up where I left off, because the next one that I'm going to look at is the deluxe edition that I feel like a lot of people might have wanted, but they didn't realise it actually existed. But the one that most people like and most people recommend is this one right here, Green Arrow by Jeff Lemire deluxe edition. Been in print since about 2016, but if you look here, there's only 2 left in stock at Amazon at full price as well. There isn't really, you know, anyone that we usually go for, and the only one that's cheaper than Amazon is unfortunately a used copy. So this is one that I definitely recommend. I really enjoyed this when I read it in single issues. Now, if you look here, it is cheaper at Read Comics, and as well, I've got something planned at the end that hopefully you'll stick around to that I'm going to mention. No, so Forbidden Planet doesn't have it in stock at all, unfortunately. So that's one that I definitely recommend looking into if it was that you wanted it. price. Another Green Arrow book though that I think I have to mention is Green Arrow Year 1. Yeah, Andy Diggle and Jock. Now again, all those telltale signs, look, only 3 left in stock. Full price. Barely anybody that's got it for quite cheap. This is another one as well. I'm tempted to pick it up. It came out in the dark ages. That's what I'm going to call, you know, April to July of last year. It's the dark ages. Those books, we don't know how the stock levels were. We don't know if there's been printing issues. Okay, so they do still have the deluxe edition at Reed Comics as well for quite a decent price. I love these Year 1 books as well. Been collecting quite a few of them. The Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl. Book Depository says that they've got it available to dispatch in 11 days, but the fact that they're not advertising it on Amazon is a bit of a cause for concern for me. So those are 2 Green Arrow books that should definitely be on your radar this month if it is that you wanted to pick them up. And for once, it's nice to not be talking about the Mike Grell Green Arrow Omnibus. Another one that we are going to look at is a very whammy boy indeed. It was one of the whammiest boys. I think it was quite close to the top of my top 25 best value for money DC omnibuses, and it's right here. It's the Blackest Night 10th anniversary. Now there's going to be like a little asterisk that comes with this one because of the fact that we had a 10th anniversary Final Crisis omnibus, and then obviously after that, after a few years later, we just got the Final Crisis omnibus. It didn't say 10th anniversary, and I don't know if Blackest Night's going to be the same, but there's only one left in stock and it's not actually being dispatched by Amazon. Amazon's got it at £90. Let's have a see what the other Amazons are doing with this. Okay, so the American ones go for quite cheap. Apparently they don't actually have it in stock, and the other ones are really close to cover price, if not over it already. So that's, like I said, one of those bad signs. Now looking on eBay, it says that the cheapest place that's got this, probably gonna be Reedcom. Oh, where do we selling it? They've got 2 available. Okay, so there are other places that are selling it, but for me it does look as if this is another one of those books that is unfortunately on its way out, I'm afraid. Speaking of which, if you were thinking, oh, I'll just pick up the Green Lantern omnibuses and I'll be fine, I've noticed something weird happening with some of these volumes. So in particular, it was volumes 2 and volumes 3, I believe. If we have a look at all of them, we'll just run through them one by one. So the first book, it's creeping back up in price. No, none of those reputable places that we really know have got it in stock. Looking at volume 2, I like A Place in Space, but I know that they are an independent provider, and actually it's out of stock on Amazon directly. Now volume 3 as well, got 2 left in stock, but unfortunately it doesn't look like anywhere else has really got them. Now for me, these have been in stock for nearly 6 years. That's quite a significant amount of time, and it looks to me as if maybe they're phasing this out. Obviously I know that they're doing those trade paperbacks of it, and we've seen that they will do this with, you know, other popular omnibus series like Nightfall, like JSA, and I know Green Lantern is arguably more popular than both of them combined, but if they will do it for other popular series, they might do it for this as well. Yeah, so they've got volume 2 for £90. It's a bit more than cover price, but you know, that might be what you have to pay. I'll have a look on here for you as well. I'll do my best to get the best deal that I can for you guys, even if the majority of you fucking hate this show. Someone's got one on eBay for £66. Who's that? Superbook deals. They say they've got 3 available. That might be your best bet if you do want to take a bit of a gamble, but admittedly, I don't think I've had a good experience with them in the past, so I can't wholeheartedly recommend them. But that is another one that you should be looking at if you want any of these Green Lantern omnibuses. Now, last month we mentioned the Flash omnibus, the one by Jeff Johns, volume 1. Obviously, it's still temporarily out of stock, but the one that I want to talk about to you now is this one. As you can see here, it says usually dispatched in 4 to 5 days, and it's not even being sold by Amazon directly. Book Depository's got it, Widowy's got it, but Amazon's selling it at full price, which, like we said, makes it get into that worrying territory. So for me, this looks like another one that you might want to pick up, and I think Reed Comics has still got this. Now, yeah, you can see here that they've got it in stock, so this might be a good safe bet, but for me, because this doesn't have the buzz of the Jeff Johns omnibus, and it's been in print for nearly 5 years now, I think that might be on its way out as well, and I'd hate for you guys to miss out on that because it's New 52, so obviously I'm a little bit biased, and it is really enjoyable. I'm just going to touch on this because I've gone back and forth on this omnibus. Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison. It's been in print since 2014, but again, price is creeping up, so it's only 24% off. I feel like I've said this book so many times, and then every time I say it, it comes back in stock. So put it on the radar, but at the same time, this book is just an anomaly to me. Keep an eye on this, and as soon as you see it again for maybe 40% off, just jump on it, just in case this is the time when it is actually going out of print. One that I thought we would have a lot longer with is the Sandman omnibuses. Now, volume 1, we're just going to go through them one by one. 27% off, and it's not even in stock. There's only 8 other places that are selling it. Been in print since 2013 as well. This one is in stock, but it's being sold by someone else. 44% off, so if you wanted that second volume, because this is the one that people were messaging me about, if you want that second volume, make sure that you jump on this immediately. And along with that, we've got the third volume right here. Speedy Hen does have it. Oh wait, no, that's a used, so that's probably like a return or something like that. Remember these coming up, and I think I might have stupidly said that I think these would stay in print, but now that they're coming out with these deluxe editions a lot more, it might be the case that this is going to be your format if you want Sandman in deluxe edition. Another one that has been constantly coming up on Whale Watch because of the fact that it just wasn't across here, but now it also looks like it's on its way out already, is the Legion of Superheroes 5 years later. Amazon's only got one left in stock, and it's only at about 30% off, which for a book from the Dark Ages, you know, that's actually kind of a good deal. But yeah, there's none of those other places that we usually look to. I think the one that I really saw this on, even though I didn't get it delivered from here, I got it from Books Etc., was In Stock Trades. It does look as if they've got this book, so good on them. But again, with how difficult it was getting this across here, I'm not too confident in saying that you should just sit around and wait on this one, unfortunately. I think it is something that you should jump on if you did want it. Some good news though, it's not all bad news on this show. The Lucifer Omnibus Volume 2 has started to come out across here. Amazon's got it for quite a decent price, but Books Etc. had this a few days ago. And another one that is also in that same bracket is the Justice League International Volume 2. Again, decent amount off the cover price. Books Etc.'s got it in stock, so this is one that we were waiting on, and you might not have been aware that it had come back out across over here. So I'd recommend that if you wanted this and you're waiting for those good prices, whilst Books Etc. seems to have this one in stock, jump on it. And some other good news for you guys. I'm not sure if you saw this, but HMV is a website that exists in the UK. It's our version of whatever sells you like movies and music. So yeah, as you can see, they've got a few of these deluxe editions, a few that I bought a few weeks ago from a guy on Facebook, so admittedly I'm kicking myself a little bit, but as you can see, he's got Batman Gothic for £7, they've got Face to Face for £11, they did have Year 100, but unfortunately it has sold out, and they've got The Killing Joke for £7. The one that I'm really kicking myself about is that they've got Superman's Secret Identity for £11, which is still a really good price. I don't know if they've got the one that I really wanted, which is typical, which is Batman Ego. Sorry, my phone just went off there, so if that terrified any of you. Someone wants to send me a message on Instagram, so hope it was worth interrupting Whale Watch for. But yeah, so there are a few there. I haven't found the full extensive list, but maybe if you just type in deluxe edition, it doesn't seem like it worked for me.
2 seconds later.
Take that back, I have found the full list, so there isn't too many, but there are still a couple that might help a few of you out. Now, we are moving on to our Marvel section, and you know that if you've watched this before, the first thing that we've got to do is our Chi Check, which is a section of the show where we check on a boy Shang-Chi. Only took me 2 tries that time. But yes, I've said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll say it for anybody that's new to the show, these Shang-Chi omnibuses have apparently only going to have one print run. And there's also going to be a movie coming out, so there's going to be some buzz around these. I'm not sure if they're going to sign a new deal, and I remember saying that this might be the last month that you can get Volume 1 of Shang-Chi for a decent price. Yeah, they've still got it at cheap books, but they have increased that price just a little bit, so just be careful on that one. Like I said, I'd recommend jumping on it. This might be the only time that something is actually out of print, that Cheap Books is listing is out of print. Sorry, it's Cheap Comics, isn't it? I know somebody will feel the need to correct me. But you can still get all 4 volumes from Read Comics, and I believe at one point these were actually out of stock, so they might have actually got them back, or am I thinking of Deadly Hands? Damn, they actually got all of them back in stock. I don't know how this happened, but like I said, I've heard rumblings that there is only going to be one printing of these, so I would recommend definitely jumping on them sooner rather than later. But it seems like they've had a second chance at life. It seems like somebody said to Shang-Chi fans, on your left, and all of a sudden all these volumes have come out of some kind of portal and they're going to help you save the day. Although it does seem like it's only Read Comics that has them. But yeah, just jump on them if you really want them. If you're a Shang-Chi fan and you don't already have all of these omnibuses, just do it. Just buy them. Like, as long as you got the money, obviously. I'm going to preach financial responsibility. So as long as you've got the money, just fucking buy them. We've got a bumper month of Marvel releases though, so I'm just going to whiz through quite a few of these. I'm not going to check on absolutely every website for everything, especially if it's stuff that's in stock now. But yeah, New Mutants Volume 1. I know that some of you were asking me about this last month. It's come back in stock at Amazon, and I believe that there was a period of time. Yep. So there was a good couple of months where this wasn't available. Having a look at the third-party sellers, you've got Book Depository, Wordery, but it doesn't look like there's too many. I haven't heard any rumblings that this is going to get an extra printing. I don't know if it secretly has, and that's why why it's back in stock. But New Mutants, if you wanted it, it is available at Amazon, so I'd recommend picking it up. Another one that I'd like to point your attention to, well, I'll go in the reverse order, but this one, Wolverine Omnibus Volume 1, it had that second printing with the rounded spine, but at the same time you can still get this for undercover price from Amazon, but they are selling it from Amazon US. And as you can see here, somebody's already selling it for £300, so I'd recommend paying a fifth of that price from £62 from Amazon directly. Holy shit, that's a nice cover. I saw it in the solicitations that Omar did, but I didn't realise it was that nice. They've got the DM variant, but they don't have the normal covers. So again, I think that this is one, because of how quiet they restocked this, I'd recommend just jumping on it. I'm just going to say this now, midway through the video. People will probably end up jumping off the video now. But at the end of the day, don't spend more than you can afford to on comics. Comics are a hobby. It isn't supposed to bring you stress. And I know that some people have said that Whale Watch stresses them out. And yeah, most of you are joking. But I never want that to be the case. I just want to make sure that you guys don't miss out on any books that you really wanted. I've been there where, you know, I was a bit foolish with my money and I overlooked books that I probably should have bought rather than other books at the time. Then you have to pay over cover price, and I don't want that to happen to anybody else. That's the point of this show. I'm not sure if that comes across. I hope that you don't think I'm just trying to cause any kind of fear of missing out. I'm just genuinely trying to make the show that I wish existed when I was getting into comics, because I didn't know stuff like this when I was new into it. I didn't know how to look at stock levels and look at the signs and, you know, just keep track of it all, and that's what I've been trying to do from episode 1 of this. The only other Wolverine Omnibus that I wanted to bring up is one that I feel has been overlooked because of the fact that its predecessors are out of print. It is this one right here, Wolverine Goes to Hell. There is one left in stock on Amazon. There is only 33% off. I like Alias Comics. I've used them before. I'd recommend them definitely. So they've got it for a healthy enough price if it does go out of stock on Amazon, because for me, I feel like eventually, oh okay, it says in stock, so they've kind of shown me up there. The fact still remains, I've been to a lot of places in the UK that seem to have it. A lot of people have overlooked this book because of the fact that they couldn't get those two books that I mentioned before. What if they both get reprints and this one doesn't? Like, it's still at a healthy enough price. You don't want it to be the case with like the Annihilation saga where, you know, you waited for a reprint of Annihilation so that you didn't buy any of the others, and at the minute a lot of people are wanting War of Kings, Realm of Kings, which we're going to mention in a bit. Don't let it be the same case with this. I'd pick this one up because it's still got the Astonishing Spider-Man and Wolverine, which I read when I was really young, so maybe it's shit, but I enjoyed it when I was young. But this is one that I'd hate for you guys to miss out on and then not be able to get a full Jason Aaron run if it was that Wolverine and the X-Men gets a reprint, because I feel like that has to at some point. One that I know a lot of you guys wanted was the Ben Reilly Omnibus Volume 2. It went out of stock for a bit, but it's now come back in stock. I think even Books, etc. Where is it? Yeah, so it's even cheaper on their website. It's £62, so pretty much the same as Amazon, but obviously Books, etc. packages better. But what I've noticed is that a lot of people will ask for stuff and then still not buy it when it shows up. So a lot of people were disappointed that Ben Reilly went out of stock really quickly. It's back in stock now. Here is your opportunity. Put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. You know, support these books that you said that you wanted. This is one that I think if you did want it, maybe to finish out your collection, just jump on it now. Save yourself the hassle, save yourself the stress, because this is just a general money spending habit that I'm going to mention that I used to implement. Sometimes I would buy volumes that were like a volume 2, you know, waiting for volume 1 to get reprinted because I didn't know how much money I might have at the time when that reprint actually comes out. So that's something that you do have to factor in as well. This is a book that I know nothing about. It's the Handbook of the Marvel Universe. Now, I know that there's an expanded edition or a deluxe edition that's coming out, but there's only 8 left in stock and there's only 4 places that are actually selling. Yeah, so there's this one right here, the deluxe edition. I don't know if this is pretty much an expanded version of this. That seems a bit stupid considering this only came out in 2019. This is all I'm gonna say. If you wanted this, it looks like it's going out of print. I don't know if you're double dipping if you do buy that deluxe edition or if they are completely separate issues, so I'd recommend doing your own research on that. I'm not interested in this book, so the kind of like onus is on you if you want it. The next one that I'm going to talk about is this one right here, the Thanos Infinity Origins. Now, it's been out for nearly 2 years, which in Omnibus is quite a long shelf life at the minute. There's only 13 left in stock at Amazon, only 19% off, and there's only 3 other places that are selling it. Speedy Hen's selling a used copy, and then you've only got a place in space. If I'm talking really quick, it's because there's that many books to go through, so just put me on a slower speed. Oh, so they are saying that it's out of print and it's still somehow on sale but more expensive than Amazon. So this is one that I definitely put on your list. These Deadpool minibuses. Now, I don't really have a clue what these are. I think they were all just like short stories for when Deadpool first appeared. They're very tiny. Like, you know it's bad if Marvel says it's a minibus, yet this one has a price to reflect it. But it looks like all of these are going out of print. Now, they've been in print A-List Comics again, great place. They've all been in print for near enough 5 years now, but it looks like all of them are at varying levels of just disappearing. So as you can see here, volume 2 pretty much at full price, and there's not too many places that are selling it. Volume 3 seems to be the only one that does actually have decent stock in. So yeah, they've got a few that are getting it, but they're all quite steep in the price, all quite close to cover price, and especially for a thin book that is quite expensive. So they haven't got volume 1 either. These don't have volume 1 either, so volume 1 seems like one that you really need to jump on. Okay, Forbidden Planet's got none of them apparently, so yeah, the Deadpool minibus, if you were missing out on any of them, admittedly it wasn't a title that I was keeping track of for a while, but if you want them, I definitely recommend picking them up, especially if you're missing any. Another one that I know I mentioned to you guys a few months ago was the Fantastic Four by Mark Waid Omnibus. It looks like it's gone out of print. Amazon's not selling it. The only other place is that UK paperback shop, and you might be going, oh shit, I missed my chance. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm here to save the day. For once. It's well under cover price, but this honestly might be your last chance. I'm gonna sit and get serious with you because I know that everybody watches this to have a serious time, but if you want the Fantastic Four by Mark Waid Omnibus, which I'd recommend, you know, it made it into my top 10 one and done Marvel Omnibuses list, I think that you need to jump on this now. But when you think about it, they are reprinting the Stan Lee Omnibuses because they are big sellers. They have got the Hickman Omnibuses, which have been out of print for quite a while. You've also got the John Byrne Volume 2 that has been deserving of a reprint for a long amount of time. I don't know if they're going to bring the Waid back in print because of the fact that it doesn't seem to have as much hype. I don't know why, I really like this run, but for me, I don't want you guys to be disappointed. So if Fantastic Four by Mark Waid was a book that you really wanted, it is on sale. Another book that we're going to look at, because it seems like Mark Waid just isn't getting a lot of omnibuses that are staying in print lately, is the Captain America omnibus. Been in print for nearly 4 years now, only 2 left in stock, full cover price. So the only place that's got it new is some kind of independent seller, so that's never really a good sign. So the cheapest seems to be Amazon France, but not that much cheaper. Yeah, so that's undercover price as well. So you can get that and the Fantastic Four by Mark Waid for undercover price, both from the same place, and then save on your postage. They're out of stock as well over at Read Comics, so this is another one that I do think needs to be on your radar this month. One that I keep getting asked about is the She-Hulk by Dan Slott omnibus. Now obviously there was that weird issue over at Amazon where they kept selling them for $40, but it's this one right here, She-Hulk by Dan Slott. Now I've been asked, have I seen it anywhere? Do I know that if it's going to come back in stock? Well, the answer to the second question, no, Marvel doesn't reach out to me. I've got no connection with them. Wish I did. Like, that'd be cool, but it'd make the show a lot easier, I'll tell you that much. So you can get it for undercover from Cheap Comics. Okay, that's pretty decent. They've actually got it in stock. Just looking at this, you'd think that this book never actually came in print. It's weird. No, unfortunately, I can't see that anywhere. Okay, this now doesn't want to show it me. So apparently the book doesn't exist. Maybe contact some local comic shops. That's always a good way to go about it, because these did exist. I've got a copy of it. I'm not selling me a copy of it, so before you ask, I'm not selling me a copy of it. And yes, of course we know that it is the year of these Spider-Man reprints, but the one omnibus that I think needs to be on your radar is this one right here, Spider-Man by David Michelinie and Eric Lawson. I hope I'm saying those two names correctly. Full cover price, only 12 left in stock unfortunately, but if you look right here, there is nobody else selling it on Amazon directly. Cheapest place is North America. Well, that's just normal America for us. Yeah, so it's on sale. It's a little bit less than cover price. Admittedly, I think it'd still be cheaper to just get it from Amazon directly. But yeah, that one I think is definitely one that needs to be on your radar, but we never know. It seems like they're pushing for these Todd McFarlane omnibuses to get a reprint. Maybe they'll go on and do some more, and I think at some point this might get a reprint because Spider-Man always sells. So if you want it now, I'd recommend getting it whilst it's still in stock because it might go out of print for a little bit of time. But admittedly, I'm not going to pick it up at that price either. I wish I would have picked it up when I saw it for stupid cheap. We're coming into our last few omnibuses now. So the one that I want to talk about is the Ultimates Omnibus, because obviously, hopefully by now you've all heard the good news that the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus is going to get a reprint. The Uncanny Omar announced it, so I'd recommend going out and checking out his video because he showed all the beautiful covers. I'm not going to do that here, give you boy a view. But the Ultimates Omnibus got a reprint last year and nobody seemed to care, but this is a great book and I feel like a lot of people are going to be disappointed if they don't pick it up. Like, yes, I know that Captain America's ears are weird in his costume, like it freaks me out, and like for me, that always freaks me out. It looks like they've just forgotten to colour in half of like Giant Man's body there. It's temporarily out of stock, which is never really a great sign. And also, you've got Book Depository, you've got Wordery, but they are really expensive for this book, and there isn't too many other places that are selling it. Now, because there hasn't been that buzz, I don't really know what they're going to be doing with this, if it is on their agenda to keep this in print or not, especially with the upcoming release of Ultimate Spider-Man. They've got it for undercover if that becomes something that you need. They've also got it for undercover, so you can still get it in a few places. No, so it's not in stock on in-stock trades, unfortunately. So this is one that I definitely recommend picking up, and because of the fact that it was like a sleeper reprint. We knew it was coming out, but nobody really seemed to have the buzz about it because of the fact that stuff like Uncanny X-Force and Annihilation were coming out around the same time. So I'd hate it if you didn't buy that at the time. Maybe your money was going elsewhere, and now is your last chance to buy it. So that's definitely one I'd recommend. This might seem a bit stupid to bring up, but the Star Wars original Marvel years, these ones right here, I know Volume 1 is definitely out of print, but it also looks like volumes 4 and volumes 5 are as well. So as you can see here, there's only 1 left in stock of volume 2 and only 4 left in stock of volume 3. But these seem to be books that I don't know. I didn't know whether to pick these up because of the fact that I'm slowly getting into my Star Wars comics, and I'm definitely getting that one, but I am gonna get that DM variant. I've already got it pre-ordered. I had people asking me about this one, Thor Heroes Return Volume 2. Now it does look as if it's got some of those telltale signs, like 15% off. Admittedly though, that isn't the actual cover price. Only 4 left in stock. Books Etc's got it, so it's probably going to be stupid cheap on their website. But this book didn't really have a lot of buzz about it, unfortunately. Who knows when that 4th Thor movie comes out if they do decide to do an extra reprint of this. But for me, I think the bigger money is going to be stuff like your Thor by Walter Simonson. There's been a lot of demand for a Thor by J. Michael Straczynski reprint because of the fact that that's been out of print for so long. I can see them doing like an expanded edition, which is going to piss me off though. And the inevitable Jason Aaron omnibus. So this series might unfortunately fall by the wayside. So you can still get it from Books Etc, and that's definitely what I'd recommend. But at the minute, it does still seem like a few places do tend to have this. The next book that we're looking at is going to be your last warning on this book. I am not going to mention this one again. Realm of Kings. I know you guys want a War of Kings reprint, and I get the feeling like eventually that might happen, but look, there is 1 left in stock at Amazon. Books Etc has still got it, and Book Depository's got it as well. There are a few places that do still have this to hand, but admittedly, who knows if this one's going to get a reprint. They might just do the main books. They might just do, you know, War of Kings. Obviously we've got Annihilation, Conquest. They might leave out the aftermath and the prologue, because I know that the prologue to War of Kings took a while to get printed. Like, I think that actually had to be some kind of fan demand for it. So who knows? We just don't know. But if you want them, whilst you can still get undercover price, I'd recommend doing it, because when Annihilation got that reprint announcement, people were disappointed that they didn't pick up Annihilation Conquest when they could. And yes, of course, we've got that reprint now. But if this is a series that you really want, why not just buy the volumes that you can and slowly build that collection together? Because sometimes you can look out and you can find the volumes that you need on eBay or maybe on Facebook. So that's something to me that, why not just buy the books that you can? That's what I've always said. Build up your collection with books that are available and that make more sense for your finances. But yeah, I'm not mentioning this one again unless it gets some kind of a reprint. As you can tell, losing my voice, so let's just move on. The Oz Omnibus, which is a book that I know not a lot of people wanted, but somebody started selling it again for 26% undercover price. Now this is like a whale that isn't an expensive whale. It's like a baby whale. That's what I think we're going to call it. It's not a killer whale. Obviously you can see Alias Comics has got it there as well. Great place. But yeah, I like this book. I think it's beautiful, and I think a lot of people would enjoy it if they give it a chance. Another one that I think is on its danger alert is the X-Men Classic Omnibus. Now you're going to notice that I'm not mentioning a lot of the Uncanny X-Men volumes. I mentioned them last month, so do me a favour and just catch up on the previous episodes. But the X-Men Classic is the one that I feel like a lot of people forget about. 2 left in stock, only 20% off. Again though, I don't think that's the actual cover price. Been in print since 2017, so nearly 4 years. Books Etc does say that they still have it, but it doesn't look like the usual Books Etc price. If you're being real with yourself, how many other X-Men omnibuses have been in print for over 3 years? So if we're looking at it, this seems like it's kind of the runt of the litter, so I'd hate it if you missed out on it and then realised that you wanted it. This one was in my recent haul and I bought it because I was a bit worried about this one. I did say it in my haul, but I feel like Marvels will always be in print in some form or another, so I wouldn't worry too much. But if this was the version that you wanted like I did, 21% off, not that great. Only 5 left in stock, and I remember there wasn't too... If somebody's got it in stock now, I'm going to be pissed. Book Depository's got it, but even more expensive than Amazon. No, so they don't have it either. So that's another one that if this was the format that you wanted, I'd recommend picking it up. We've only got 3 books left, so will my voice go before I can get through these? Place your bets in the comments below. I know that a lot of people were disappointed with this Miss Marvel Omnibus, this one right here. I said that this one might be going out of print and it seems like it's going that way, but admittedly it didn't collect the full series, so I know a lot of people didn't want it. It does get collected in 5 oversized hardcovers, so I'm going to look at those for you because I think some of these are going out of print. So volume 3, it looks like it isn't actually in stock with Amazon directly. No, sold by Book Depository. Volume 4 seems in stock, Volume 5 does as well. Volume 1, it seems like it's better if you're not afraid of a book that's got like a remainder mark or something like that. And Volume 2, actually that's quite a decent price anyway. We know that Kamala Khan's supposed to be getting her own TV show, so I get the feeling like when that happens, they're going to do something for this series, but I think it's more likely that they bring out a Volume 1 of the Omnibus again, like a reprint, and a Volume 2, rather than doing these 5 deluxe editions. And we've said it before, but when Marvel makes a deluxe edition go out of print, it doesn't really tend to come back in stock, so if you wanted any of these, if there was any gaps in your collection, I'd recommend just picking them up sooner rather than later. Another series of deluxe editions that we're going to talk about, and I know a lot of people don't like this series, but you know what, I'm trying to compensate for as many different people as I can. But the Guardians of the Galaxy by Brian Michael Bendis, it's similar to the Miss Marvel series that we just talked about, because obviously there was a Volume 1 Omnibus, but in typical Brian Michael Bendis fashion, didn't get Volume 2. So the deluxe editions, the ones that are most likely going to be your best way of getting this series, Volume 4, there's only 2 left in stock and it's a cover price. Volume 3, same deal, only 1 left in stock. Volume 5, only 1 left in stock. Volume 2, only 1 left in stock. Jesus Christ. The first volume, I fucking hate them for doing this. They made a movie cover. That's the main cover. But if you want this series, it seems like the deluxe editions are going to be your best bet for it. Again, I know that not a lot of people like this series. Okay, don't buy it. But if you were somebody that had those gaps in your collection, I'm actually tempted to pick up this series because of the fact that when people don't like a series, I feel like there's no hype for it. So I might actually enjoy it for what it is. Although unless it's like fully shit, then I probably won't. But yeah, so those deluxe editions, Miss Marvel and Guardians of the Galaxy, they should be on your radar if you want them. The last book that we're going to talk about, The End Is in Sight, my voice can finally get a bit of a break, is going to be the Thor by Walter Simonson Omnibus. But the Mad Dog, it's got quite a decent price, but yes, look, it's temporarily out of stock. It's been in print again since 2017, like this was a reprint that came out for the time of Thor Ragnarok. Never used books for people, and there's no other places that tend to have it, like you don't have those websites that we've come to expect. This is such a great run that I recommend everybody picking it up, and yes, I do think that it's likely that this would get yet another reprint at the time when the 4th Thor movie comes out, like I was saying for Thor Heroes Return, that I think this is more likely to get. But at the same time, if you want this now, why wait a year or whatever it's going to be until that film comes out to see if it might get a reprint? It's here now, baby girl, so buy it now, baby girl. Yes, I'm really tired and don't know why I keep saying that. Oh shit, so they don't actually have it on Cheap Comics, unfortunately, but they do have Volumes 2 and Volumes 1 of Heroes Return, and that one's currently on sale. No, In Stock Trades don't have it as well. Yeah, so they've got it in stock, so you've always got that as an option. But again, like I said, this is such a great run that I'd recommend that if you did want this, save yourself the hassle of possibly missing out on it and just buy like as soon as you can. So those are all the books that I'm covering as this month's Whale Watch. Now, like I said, I know that it's been a bumper episode, but it seems like month after month there's more books that could possibly go out of print, and there's also other books that tend to sneak back in, so I want to make sure that I can incorporate as much into this show as I can. I know some of you have said, why don't I do 3 separate episodes, one for independent, one for DC, one for Marvel? In the future that may be an option, but admittedly you might not see, but so much fucking work goes into this show. Just the filming alone is about 3 to 5 hours, and then on top of that, I've also got to edit all the footage so that it lines up with what's going on my screen. I've also got to make sure that all the stuff is up to date if something happens between the time when I film and when the video comes up. And then throughout the month, I'm constantly checking prices and stuff like that. So a lot of work goes into this, and I'm glad that it seems like the majority of you are actually enjoying this. Like, it means a lot to me because as much as I like doing hauls and everything else, Whale Watch is my baby. It's what started this channel. It's what really gave it a chance and really separated it from everyone else. I knew that I was coming late into this game, and I know that I didn't have like all the books like Gem Mint does, and I don't have the knowledge that Omar does, and I don't have the charisma of pretty much any other YouTube channel in general, so I knew that I needed something that could really, you know, make me stand out from the rest of the comic community. And I feel like Whale Watch was my way of doing that, you know, checking prices and trying to find you guys the best deal. But as much as I'm thankful for it, a lot of work does go into it, so at the minute there isn't going to be 3 episodes. If I was ever doing YouTube full time, fingers crossed, like I've got something that you can leave me a tip down below if that's something that you find helpful, because I know people say they want to support the channel, so that's something that there's a link for in the description down below. Then yeah, that might be an option that I can do 3 videos, but right now I like just having it one and done, going through all that stress for a couple of days, and then I don't really have to focus that much on it throughout the rest of the month and just check the prices. So I'm sorry if there's some books that do tend to fall by the wayside, or there's stuff that does then get reversed and it seems like they come back in stock. I say this every month, I'm just trying my best for you guys. I'm just trying my best to get as much information as I can, as relevant as I can. But I think I found a way to overcome that, and I've been referencing it throughout this video, and if you watched my last MDC, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because yes, at some point in this month, I'm going to be doing my first live whale watch. I'm going to be sharing the screen with you live. I found some deals that I'm saving until that time for some books that maybe a few of you wanted, so it's in your best interest to make sure that you tune in live. I don't know the date yet because I haven't got my rotors through and stuff like that, but I will give you at least a week announcement, so keep checking the channel, keep checking my Instagram and my Facebook and my Reddit, because I will announce as soon as that can happen. Because I know a lot of you enjoyed the Omar effect as well. I'm going to make sure that that's incorporated into this live stream as well, because with the MDC I was enjoying talking to my friends so much that I did neglect the comments a little bit. I apologise for that, and this live whale watch is my way of interacting with you guys a little bit more. You can also suggest some books that you're struggling to find, and we can at least check what the current price is. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be able to find it for you for undercover price. I'm not a magician, I'm a mad dog. But yes, that is something that I'm very much looking forward to. At the minute, I'm just saying that it's going to be a one-off because it's either going to be really enjoyable or an absolute fucking train wreck. So that's coming later on in the month. If you've watched to this point of the video, make sure that you comment below and let me know if you're looking forward to it. As well, it will just be a general Q&A. We'll get a chance to catch up with each other, and we've also got the next edition of the MDC on March 12th. Because you guys enjoyed it so much, it's going to be myself, Comic Bound, Dano's Comics, and of course Joachim. We're gonna all be there once again to just talk to you like we did last month. We got quite drunk, and yes, like I said, we did just end up going off on a complete tangent, so I'd recommend checking that out if you haven't already. I'm really looking forward to it, and like, it's still a couple of weeks away. But that's the video. Let me know in the comment section below what are some of the books that are on your radar for this month. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, and if you didn't enjoy it, why did you get this far? As well, if you did enjoy it, please just share this wherever you can, in any Reddit group, any Facebook page, on any Twitter, Instagram, wherever you can share it. Like I said, Whale Watch is my baby. It's the one thing that really sets me apart, so I really want to make sure that I can make as much of a push with this as I can. And you know it's going to be helpful to a lot of people, so please just help your boy out, because I know that a lot of you have supported me from day one, so I know I shouldn't really be asking for any more support, but if you could, it would be greatly appreciated, and it'd make me love you even more. But check out some of the links down below along with our own Reddit page, but until next time, just make sure that you stay safe, stay reading the best books that you can find, and stay mad, all you dogs. Woof woof! See you at the next video. I need a nap now.